Hi, this is Adam Haller. I'm going to give you a detailed walkthrough of a bicycle ride across the Ashley River in Charleston, South Carolina, riding on the morning around 8 a.m. of December 29th, 2021. I'm starting in West Ashley. I'm taking the lane. There is no official bicycle infrastructure at present, although there is a great plan for an Ashley River crossing that has support federal, state, and locally to build. But right now there's nothing much here. As you can see, the sidewalk on my right actually just kind of fizzles into the trees. It's not even a safe way to walk this route. This is a major point of connection between two large population centers in Charleston, in the city of Charleston, West Ashley, and downtown. As you can see, there are 3 lanes in this spot. There's a couple other lanes that will merge up ahead. It's approximately 60 or 70 feet of width for the road and not even 3 or 4 feet for pedestrians. This is during peak rush hour. There are a few cars, and it is a holiday weekend, or week rather. As you can see, the road condition is actually good. Pavement is in decent condition. As I approach the bridge itself, the lane seems to narrow slightly, but is generally okay. The guardrail there, and it begins and then it starts on the bridge, which is made of concrete decking, and there is no space for a pedestrian or bicycle to ride safely. There are 4 lanes across at this point on the bridge itself, all for motor vehicle traffic. And as you can see, there's really no traffic at the moment. What happens is that the cars are bundled at previous traffic lights and end up coming in large batches. So drivers perceive that there's heavy traffic, but on a general note, they don't experience the actual bridge. The decking here is terrible to ride on, the actual drawbridge part for a bicycle. It's metal, it's got large gaps. My bicycle wheels were very unstable. I would only advise even attempting this for an expert cyclist who can handle any condition. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of traffic coming through as they were bundled together at the previous light and all proceeded through. Many are frustrated with me that I'm taking the lane, but of course I'm one person. They are all one-person drivers in their cars. I have just as much a legal right and space to this space as anybody. It's public space. I'm using it appropriately and legally. I'll move over out of the road. I do want to be courteous. There's a shoulder here which would suffice for bicycle riding. However, what's interesting is how it ends up here. And there's interestingly a sidewalk. That sidewalk was built, I recall, in the 90s when the upcoming other bridge, the James Island Connector, was built. You see a faded crosswalk there of no use. Now look how the shoulder just disappeared. It just faded into nothing. And the sidewalk, even somebody's using, the sidewalk faded really into the road rather than having a buffer. Now this still has a feel of a highway, and this is a waterfront. This is some of the most expensive real estate in the country. We're along the waterfront in Charleston. This is a natural wetland. This land should be set aside for public use. It is being used for public space right now, but just for cars. There is a nice pedestrian way over to my right. I do not want to ride my bicycle there because it's very narrow and there's people walking on it. I would be intruding on their space. There's a shoulder again, riding over the water. These ugly concrete structures have really put a scar on the natural beauty of the peninsula. At least there's a shoulder here, which is much better for riding, but it's not consistent. And now I'm going to be in the case of high-speed traffic merging. And what do I do now? This is complicated, right? How do I navigate this? Again, only for expert cyclists. No children would ever be expected to ride here on their way to school. No recreational cyclists would consider it. No women out maybe retrieving the kiddos from the preschool. everybody who's doing any of those tasks is riding in a car, and larger cars at that, polluting the air and the atmosphere and demanding an insatiable appetite for destruction of resources to create their car space. I continue on. This street is known as Lockwood Boulevard, and as you can see, there's a nice shared use path on my right, and the sun is really bright up ahead as the sun is rising. And I'm heading south towards the Battery area and continuing on. Plenty of space for bicycle infrastructure here. There's not any need for 2 car lanes going this direction whatsoever, but of course it's not designed that way. This also is a highly flooded area with major water management challenges.